Flowing is when you write the most important parts of a case. So first what will happen is you'll hear the other team's case and you will write down what they're saying or the contentions, which is usually the most important part of the case, and there's usually about three, as well as under the contentions you'll write down the subpoints, and you'll also write down their links and impacts, which is how it's impacted the most amount of people. And you also, as they're saying that, you will write how you'll respond to those contentions, those subpoints, and the links and impacts.
Hey guys, so I'll be reading you an AF case today. Just try your best to flow along, and at the end of the exercise, we'll just compare notes. Hi, today I will be on the affirmative, arguing for the U.S. federal government should substantially increase funding into general artificial intelligence research. Our plan is that the U.S. federal government should increase funding into artificial intelligence research. Our funding is that we currently spend $1 billion, and we're going to increase this to $3 billion per year in taxes. Just for a little context, the Apollo mission cost $80 billion, so in the grand scheme of things, this is not a lot of money. Our agent is the U.S. federal government, and our time frame is as soon as possible. Let's get into our contentions. Our first contention is healthcare. Just for a little bit of background, in Long Island, computers are currently predicting the medicine that patients will need using algorithms. The University of North Carolina School of Medicine tested Watson by having the AI analyze 1,000 cancer diagnoses. In 99% of these cases, Watson, which is the name of the AI, was able to recommend treatment plans and matched actual suggestions from real oncologists with MDs. Not only that, but it can read and digest thousands of documents in minutes, finding treatment options that doctors missed in 30% of cases. Medicinal deaths are the third leading cause of death in the United States, with 440,000 people, or 10% of US deaths are due to these preventable medical mistakes, according to Times. Just for a bit of impacts on this, and our links and impacts are the following. AI can better diagnose symptoms, so overall there'll be better health in America, and there'll be an increase in quality of life. AI doesn't make human errors, so there will be more surviving humans and fewer errors that shouldn't have happened. More surviving Americans means that there are more Americans working and living. More Americans working and living means there's more money pumped into the economy, more people innovating, and more people accomplishing more and contributing to society. These accomplishments, discoveries, and innovations means that America can maintain its reputation as a leader. So those are our impacts. On to our second contention, education. Artificial intelligence in education allows institutions to accommodate more students. The University of Canterbury reports that artificial intelligence relieves stress and leads to faster learning. This is according to Forbes. There's a couple basically different aspects of AI education, so I'm just going to list 5 different sub-examples. First off, we can have virtual mentors for every learner. Basically, we can use user modeling, social simulation, and knowledge representation, and have these different visual models so that everybody can learn in the way that works best for them. We can address 21st century skills. We can help users with more important skills such as teamwork, self-assessment, and self-direction in a one-on-one environment. We can interact with data. By bringing together vast amounts of data using AI, we can lead to better individual learning and in social contexts and learning contexts, explore personal interests. We can provide opportunities for global classrooms. AI can lead to a more interconnected and accessible worldwide network of classrooms via the internet. Lifelong and life-wide technologies. AI can take learning outside of the classroom and into the learner's life outside of school. Furthermore, our next subpoint is different learning styles. According to Dr. Scott R. Parfit of Content Technologies Incorporated, his new company enables educators to assemble custom textbooks. Educators import a syllabus and the engine populates a textbook with core content. This allows educators to customize the learning of their students to what is most important and most necessary for their curriculum. Progress in artificial intelligence and machine learning has been impressive, but there's still a lot of work to be done in terms of advancing learning science. And because not everyone learns the same way, AI is the most flexible and the most adaptable to these different styles of learning, visual learners, auditory learners. And no one learning style should be inaccessible to students. The impact of our education contention is this. More people being educated and more efficiently means that more Americans are going to be able to be more productive and be able to support their families and sustain the economy. Again, more people working means more innovation, and more innovation means that the United States can stay ahead, find advanced solutions on the world stage. Our third contention is the military. The US has to stay ahead as a military superpower, and other countries are already developing AI tools. Russia is one of the many countries developing self-guided killer robots, and China and Israel already have AI robots according to the State Council. China is looking to rival US market leaders such as Alphabet Incorporated and Google and the Microsoft Corporation, and it is key not to be left behind in a technology that is seen as increasingly key for smart cars and the future of energy. There will be less humans dying in war because robotic weapons will result in fewer civilian casualties than using human soldiers. Also, you're only risking the robot's life and not a human life. This robot can take on more risk, and it can be more accurate in making sure that it does not harm civilians and only harms opposing soldiers. We have other impacts, such as there will be less PTSD because there won't be the risk of life and the direct involvement of human soldiers. About 30% of the men and women who have spent time in war zones experience PTSD. This PTSD affects 31% of Vietnam veterans, as many as 10% of the Gulf War veterans, 11% of veterans from Afghanistan, and 20% of Iraqi war veterans. The impacts of the military developing AI is that robots will be able to take more risk and do more things so that America has a military advantage and stays ahead. Furthermore, America is better able to protect its citizens and people, so there's a better quality of life and less security nationally. Less American deaths associated with war and other psychological impacts such as PTSD. There will be decreasing human rights violations, and there will be an overall better quality of life for both Americans and other countries. And that's the case.
So this is what it should look like. This is what the AF would have said. So you can look and see how different or how similar your flow was to this. And these are the three contentions, and then the impacts and some of the sub-points. So if you just get down the majority of the most important information, then it will be much easier to respond. And right here you would have lines, and this is neg, so this is what your side will be or would have been for this case, and you write what you could have respond to each point. So it's important that you do this, or else, because if you don't, the judge will allow the contention or the points flow through. So after you were to respond to these points, which is part of your speech's time, you would go over your case, which could also help respond to some of the AF's case. And you can say that, for example, you could say, I will go over the healthcare contention once I get into my case, if you don't have one short response for that contention.